Can you see the stratosphere ringing to the choir of Afro notes singing? There is in space, Bowie, 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 Bowie. There is in space, Bowie, 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 Bowie. Faces on funky. Space.
The Comedy Grinder. Streaming live worldwide from the First Church of Cannabis. Tonight, Jeff Burton, Jeffrey Lewis Nance, Steve Jerk, Troy Davis, Jerry Goebel. Tonight's episode.
Hey, Obama, pardon my Peltier. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the First Church of Cannabis. We are going to get things rolling right along here and bring to our stage your first comedian of the evening. Please welcome Mr. Jeff Burton.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Feels good to be here. Be here in the sacred temple of the herb. I gotta be quite honest. I mean, I grew up in a pretty religious area. Attended a lot of things. Did the church services, Sunday school, Wednesday night youth groups. I gotta say, this is probably the first time I've felt safe inside a church, or at least the feeling that I'm not going to get struck by lightning anytime soon. I think that has to do with the sense of honesty here, maybe. I don't know. I was at a magic show a couple days ago, and a magician called me up to do one of his tricks, and he did the old throw the cloth over you, make you disappear trick. I disappeared, and I ended up in a waiting room filled with all the other people that disappeared from magic tricks. And I go to the receptionist. I tell her, yeah, the magician guy made me disappear. What do I do? She hands me a clipboard. I got to take a number. I'm about to take a seat. And I hear a voice behind me say, "Hey, watch where you're going." And I look down. Bunny rabbit. I used to be in a band, and the name of the band was, we called ourselves Ladies and Gentlemen, Please Welcome. And every night when we would go to stage, the presenter would present us, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome." Yeah, we weren't really popular, and no one really knew the name of our band. They just thought that the presenter was a weird guy, like listening to the sound of his own voice. I was at a concert a couple weeks ago. I saw my favorite band, Deftones. It was a fun time. It took me back when I saw my first concert. Me and my friends, we went and saw Raffi when I was a kid, and we all took drugs when we were there. And mine was in the shape of Bam Bam. Someone was, the guy next to me was hogging all the Pediasures. Definitely brings back a lot of memories. As a child, back in my childhood, I remember a kid once told me if I put a fork in an electrical socket, I would get a lot of presents. So sure enough, I took a fork, I jammed it into an electrical socket, and I got a lot of presents. They all said, "Get well soon." Good times. I was at a gas station. I was eating a Winto Green Lifesaver. A green spark flew out of my mouth and into the puddle of gasoline before me, and I was engulfed in green flames. It was the most surreal thing that ever happened to me. The doctor said I had the freshest third-degree burns they had ever seen, that I didn't even need to ice them. I could just be like, winter green freshness. So then I went out driving, and I hit some sort of bump, and I got a flat tire, and tried to find that tire jack I had somewhere stashed in the back seat of my car, found out I had a tire jack in the box. Put it next to my flat tire. I pulled down on the lever a few times, and clown popped right out of the trunk. Yeah. I wished on an eyelash once. Nothing happened. So I tried a couple more times with a pair of tweezers, and right when I was down to my last eyelash, my wish had already come true. Hey, I do look like Alex from A Clockwork Orange. I do. This is so exciting. My wish came true. I dressed up as Grover Cleveland on 2 non-consecutive Halloweens. I once swatted a fly with a copy of Charles Darwin's Origin of Species. It was a literal death by natural selection. The MTV moon landing was a hoax. You know what I think is really cool? I think it's cool how Brett Favre, his last name is F-A-V-R-E, yet it's pronounced Favre. The V is in front of the R, and yet it's pronounced Favre. I think that's pretty neat. Makes me wish my last name, Jeff Burton, was pronounced as Brutno. So next time someone announces my name, Jeff Burton, I say, no, Brutno. That's how it's pronounced. But it says Burton, Brutno. I have a social security number. I don't really know it. Sometimes I put it wrong on applications, and it's like trying to play a game of mastermind, trying to figure out which numbers go which where. And I think I've memorized it, though. I think I have memorized it this time. It's 555-22-8011. 5580211. 582-5580. I wasn't planning on retiring anyway. Who's ever watching out there, if you're watching this and you wrote down that number, go ahead. My retirement money's all yours. I didn't need it. But in case if I do need to work all that money and I need to retire, I do have some business plans that I'd like to share, see if anyone thinks these are good ideas. I think about opening up a store that sells both guns and sex toys. I will call it Dad's Sock Drawer. If that becomes successful, which I imagine it will, I'll do something a little more lighthearted, like abortion clinic. Call it Babies Were Us. Or maybe like a generic brand of I can't believe it's not butter. I can't not believe that isn't not butter. Or an old folks home, a retirement home. I actually don't know what the fuck I'm going to call it. I just know the slogan. I know what the slogan's going to be. It's going to be, where every year is senior year. It'll be fun. A website. I'll do a website. It will be a fetish website for dogs. It will consist entirely of pictures of people's legs. An alphabet book for kids. It'll be about drunk driving backwards. It'll be called The ZYXs of DUIs. The Z is for 0.0 on the breathalyzer. You're good to go. Sport. I have an idea for a sport. I will simply call it acid ball. Now here's what you do. You have 2 teams. You give each team a shit ton of LSD, a lot of hallucinogens. You throw them out in the field. You give them a ball. Try to watch them figure out what sport they're playing, and or improvise whatever sport they're going to play. Other than it's think of it as like the human puppy bowl. There's not a whole lot of rules. Maybe just like a ref on standby in case anyone shits out in the field. How about I'll do some impressions, some quick impressions. This is my impression of a bulimic plumber. So I fix your toilet, and I was wondering if could I use it first, please? worked hard on it. Next impression. This is my impression of the Catholic school graduate. Father Robinson, you're trying to seduce me. And here's to you, Father Robinson. Jesus knows you're gonna burn in hell. Well, well, well. Well, that was all I have on the impressions for you tonight. I don't really like going to weddings. They're all the same. They're all kind of hackneyed. They're all unoriginal. They all follow the same formula. And, you're at that age where, a lot of people, they're going out, they're getting engaged, they're getting married. And most of your friends, they get engaged first, but they want to wait a while, sort of test the waters before they tie the knot. And other times they get married in a heartbeat on an ultrasound. But a shotgun wedding, woo! Attended my share of those. And, before that all happens, of course, they got to promote the shit out of it on social media. They do the engagement photos and they do the hashtag happily ever last name. And happily ever after. You know what happily ever after implies, right? It's over. It's done. You're not going to hang out with them again. It's over. Go home. Go home. Jack off. Do whatever. Wait till your soulmate comes along. But and then there's the reception, which I hate even more. I always have that wedding band there playing those dumbass pop songs in a really half-assed manner. My least favorite song of all time. A song that just is like nails on a chalkboard to me is "What a Wonderful World" by Satchmo, Louis Armstrong. God, I hate that song. Ugh. So many people say, like, oh, don't hate on it, Jeff. It's a happy song. It makes you feel good inside. It's innocent. Don't hate on it. No. It is a sappy, cloying, narcissistic song that conceals the harsh, dark reality of life. You don't believe me, right? It's like, listen to the lyrics. It's like, I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. So, not only does this guy not understand how shit grows from the ground, which is, last I checked, air, water, and sunlight, he thinks he's the reason for all the wonderfulness that happens in the world. Not science. Not water, not air. Fuck science. Fuck all that. Satchmo. He's responsible for everything that is wonderful in the world, and you should give him credit for it. Fuck that. Fuck you, Satchmo. Wherever you are. Man. But, yeah, weddings there. Bit of a bitch, but. Okay, how about one last impression while I'm up here. This is Star Wars if it were directed by Stanley Kubrick. Work that is all, play that is none. A dull boy Yoda makes. I love music. An album that really made an impression on me the first time I heard it was Pink Floyd The Wall, which it's a good album for the monumentally pretentious album that it is. I mean, if you follow the whole concept of it, basically it's about some rock star who's depressed and decides to build a wall of isolation against the world. I don't really have that much time on my hands, but but we all hear all the moments of his life that he does. They all represent. Each brick represents a depressing moment in his life, which I don't know how you materialize a depressing moment in your life as a brick, much less build a fucking wall out of one, but I digress. But We already know there's only 4 bricks we know of. His dad dies in the war. His mom's overprotective. His teachers make fun of him, and then his wife leaves him. Those are just 4, but we don't know all those other bricks that he somehow isolated himself from the world. I want to know what those bricks are. I want to know what those songs could have been. I mean, he had to run out of the ideas eventually to build a wall that completely isolates you. I mean, think about it. He's sitting there going, okay, let's see, I shit my pants in gym class. The time I thought rainbow suspenders were fashionable. Time I stole a candy bar from the convenience store. That was actually a funny moment. Maybe I'll put that in the maybe pile. Let's see. What else did I do? I brought a pot of fake puke at home, went to a movie theater, and poured it on the audience. Wait a minute, you didn't do that. Chunk did that from the Goonies. You're a liar. What are all these other bricks? You're full of shit. What happened? This wall's a lie. Okay. I want to thank the Church of Cannabis for giving me some time here. Thank you all for having me. See ya. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Burton. And we are going to keep things rolling right along as we like to do here at the First Church of Cannabis. And welcome our next comedian to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Steve Jerk.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I know what you're thinking. Yes, I am pretty. Or as I get all the time, excuse me, miss? Oh, I am so sorry. Didn't see the beard. So I get that a lot. It's good to be here tonight at the First Church of Cannabis. Really glad that I made it here. I did have a really hard time finding cannabis on the map. If you ask around, though, some of the other comics didn't seem to have any problem. They knew exactly where it was hiding. So good for them. And it's good to be here. I come from Madison County. Madison County, just north of here. Our claim to fame is we are #1 in the state of Indiana for meth lab busts. Yeah, we're #2 overall in the country. So we really got something going on in Madison County. But I thought, let's turn this negative into a positive. Let's see if the comedy genius of Madison County can spin this for the better. So I came up with some slogans for our tourist bureau. You guys want to hear them? Of course you do. Madison County, it's the bomb. Now's the time to move to Madison County. Our population is exploding. This one I kind of borrowed from Jif, the Jif peanut butter slogan, but this is Madison County. Picky pickers pick Madison County. I thought that was good. Or welcome to Madison County, where we have more meth than teeth. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But no, it's good to be here. I'm glad to get out of the house, to be honest with you. I just got a puppy. I didn't even want the puppy, to be honest. I don't know if you can pull that card, the unwanted puppy card, but that's what I've got. And it's like a premium breed. It's like a Maltese Yorkie mix. They call it a Morkie, which I'd like to be that guy that names these dogs, the sharp poodles and all this, but he's like a $500 dog, so I couldn't say no because it was from a friend. It was free, so I took this expensive puppy home, and right off the bat, I hate him. I mean, he's a little puppy. He's into everything. He pees everywhere. His latest thing now, he likes to chew on the chew cord to my laptop, which is pretty expensive. Actually, at this point, it's more expensive than the puppy. So. And I keep telling him, if you keep chewing on that, that'll be the last time. But he doesn't get it. So I have to teach him a lesson. This is what you do with these puppies. You got to teach them a lesson. So I went to Goodwill. I got a spare cord for like a 50 cents, and I ran it through his little cage, and I plugged it in. And he might think at first that it's a chew toy, but he's in for a shock, for sure. But he's a terror. He gets into everything. Right now I'm trying to find a name for him. I got to come up with a name for the puppy, and I want to get something that kind of captures his personality, that really describes his behaviors and everything, and that kind of looks like him and everything. Right now, all I know about him is that he thinks he owns the place, and he likes to pee everywhere. So I thought about naming him after like a British war hero. Sir Leaks-a-Lot, I thought would be a good name for him. Or like a Roman emperor. He kind of acts like that a little bit. So I thought about calling him Constant Peeing. But he's the only dog in the neighborhood full of pit bulls. So I don't want him to get picked on. I mean, he's a little morky. He's got it bad enough, you know what I mean? But I got to give him a name that's got some street cred, He's out there in the inner city. So I think I'm going to go with P. Drizzle. Be a good name for the puppy, P. Drizzle. No, it's been a good week. It has been pretty good. He did get sick a few days ago, and I was pretty worried about him. And I took him to the vet, and they just said, he's just throwing up a little bit of blood, no big deal. Just call us in the morning. And I was like, no, you need to keep him for observation. You need to do something. This is pretty serious stuff. And I'm thinking, I granted it's just a dog, right? But if it was my kid, like if it was a newborn, you take him to the NICU, right? The newborn ICU. And if it's a little bit older kid, you take him to the pediatric ICU, what they call the PICU. I don't know what they call the doggy ICU. But I know now what you don't call it. That's a quick way to get kicked out of the vet's office, right there. I'll tell you that. I want to take my dog to. Never mind. So I have been losing some weight recently. Thank you for noticing. People ask me all the time, Steve, what's your secret to your weight loss? And it's really simple. It's just exercise and eat right. But nobody's happy with that. That sounds like hard work. Everybody wants a fad diet to jump on, something trendy, Atkins or paleo. So I tell people I'm on the African diet. And people get pissed off at that right off the bat. Oh, so you just starve yourself? No. But I do just, I eat a lot of rice and beans. And a tapeworm. But no, the trendy diets drive me crazy. They really do. Now there's the Brat diet. Have you heard about the Brat diet? Apparently you just complain about all the things you can't have. That's the Brat diet. Now gluten-free is taken off huge. Like this is the most popular thing you can do now is to be gluten-free. So I don't have like celiac disease or gluten intolerance. I could have it or not. I kind of consider myself gluten indifferent. But I do have family members that have the celiac disease, and they really genuinely have pretty violent reactions if they have gluten. So when I go out to eat, I like to order off the gluten-free menu. I like to ask them if they have a gluten-free menu, kind of support the businesses that cater to people like my relatives who have to eat gluten-free. And that's a good way to piss off the wait staff, I'll tell you right now. Because I ask for a gluten-free menu, and then I don't order anything off of it. And they get pissed off. They're like, excuse me, sir, why did you even ask about the gluten-free menu? And then I have to explain to them, oh, I'm sorry, it's just because I'm a jerk. That's why. There you go. Support the family. I do dating and dieting is a terrible mix. Dating women who are dieting is a terrible mix. I had this one girlfriend. She never wanted to eat alone. She had a thing about eating by herself. So I had to eat with her. But then she didn't want to eat when I was hungry. So I'd sit down and eat, and she refused to eat with me. And then, 20 minutes later, she's starving. And I'd say, babe, I just filled up. Can you wait like an hour and then I'll eat with you? And she said, but I'm hungry now. You got to be careful. Brings out the worst in the ladies dieting. But no, I'm divorced, or happily divorced, as we say. Anybody happily divorced here tonight? All right. Trying to hear all those applause out there. It's not that I'm for divorce. I'm not anti-marriage, I guess you would say. It's just that, when you believe you've married the wrong person, you tend to wake up every day banging your head against the wall. And finally, I had enough of it, and I said, honey, if we don't do something, you're going to ruin the drywall. I try to enjoy being divorced, but it seems like we argue more now than we used to. Constantly arguing about the kids, where the kids can be, who's going to have the kids, and all this constant fighting and just nonstop text messages and emails. And it kind of makes me long for the days of our marriage when she could go weeks without talking to me. My wife, in her defense, though, she had times when she wouldn't want to talk, and then times that she did, and they never really matched. Kind of like eating. Never matched my mood, that's for sure. But in her defense, she had that disease that keeps you from sleeping at night. And it keeps people that are trying to sleep with you awake, too. What's it called? That restless lip syndrome. Yeah, she had restless lip. That drove me nuts. I enjoy being a single dad. I do. I've got a 6-year-old. My kids have taught me a lot, to be honest. When they were younger, especially, it taught a lot of patience and a lot of skills I never imagined that I would have or need, even like spiking a juice box with one hand while texting and driving at the same time. Those are serious single dad skills that you need right there. Because you got to work on your Tinder game while you're getting the juice box ready for the little ones. And road rage. I don't have road rage anymore. I have the opposite of road rage. Somebody will cut me off in traffic. I don't even care. I've been under constant fire of grapes and goldfish for an hour. Somebody flicks me off driving down the street. I don't care. I just got hit in the head with a shoe, right? You got nothing on my son, right? He's got real stuff back there. Traffic, get stuck in traffic, like I'm going to be late. I don't even notice. I haven't been on time for anything in 6 years. Who cares? Who cares? Being on time, overrated. Definitely overrated. But my son, he's a great wingman. He's an awesome wingman. He's cute, naturally, because he's my son. And we go out, and he's never met a stranger. He chats it up with the ladies, and ladies that are even, kind of out of my league. One day he had this beautiful blonde just eating out of his hand, and she was just giggling, and she bent over and she looked him in the eye. She said, "You are so precious. Can I take you home with me?" And he looked her right in the eye and he said, "No, but you want to come home with me and my dad?" Awesome kid. Put her there. Dating is fun. I do enjoy dating. I had some friends try to set me up with a blind date. I'd never had a blind date before. I was kind of nervous about it. Didn't know what the protocol was, what are you supposed to do? So I bought her a gift. She got all pissed off because I bought her a seeing eye dog. So I didn't appreciate that. Friends tell me to try online dating. They said you should set up a profile online and see what you get. And I'd always heard that women like a man who could make them laugh, so I wrote up a real funny profile, bio and everything. And before I put it live, I had my friend Becky proofread it. Right off the bat, she starts cracking up. Like, first line, she's laughing her head off. And I was a little baffled, because that's just the boring stuff. And so she finally got her breath, and I said, Becky, what was so funny? And she said, athletic body type. But, online dating is scary. There's this one out there now, Plenty of Fish. Anybody tried that? Plenty of Fish. What's with the fish analogy, really? I get it though, because especially with online dating, it is a lot like fishing, especially for the guys. We're out there all day trying, casting our lines. All day, not even getting a nibble. Just me and my pole. But for women, I think it's even worse. I mean, it's a scary world out there with online dating for women. I hear a lot of horror stories, but because it is like fishing, it's deceptive. Because the women, they're swimming around, you see something catches your eye, and you think, hey, I'm about to get a free meal. What's the worst that could happen? Next thing you know, you're all strung up, all wet and naked, flopping around on some guy's floor. So you got to be careful online dating. It's fun. My ex-girlfriend actually wanted to get back together. She wanted to actually go out tonight. She wanted to be my date tonight, but I had to tell her something came up. My standards. So that'll be a no. Yeah. And to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm a male. I have to specify that sometimes when people find out what I do for a living. I'm a registered nurse, which people often have to clarify. Oh, you mean a male nurse? Because that wasn't obvious, apparently. From the back, definitely not obvious. But, I get it. I get the questions. We male nurses, we get the assumptions and the weird questions. And we usually get thrown in with the more difficult, the drunks and the disorderly patients. I enjoy my job. I really do. There's a lot of guts and unpleasant things about it, but by and large, I enjoy my job. Sometimes we get picked on by these drunk, disorderly patients, and they particularly think that being a male nurse means somehow you're effeminate or you're less of a man. And I've been used to that. I know how to stand up to that, no problem. But I do enjoy giving those guys shots. I'll tell you that much. And it's not because I enjoy inflicting pain on them. I don't enjoy that at all. But giving shots to those kind of patients is particularly rewarding because I finally get to speak my mind. Little prick. I get baffled a lot of times. My friends get tired of their jobs, they quit. I've been at the same place for 15 years. I get friends all the time quitting their jobs. My buddy, the accountant, quit his job the other day. I said, dude, why would you quit your job in this economy? He said, I got tired of all the crap. You work in an office. Like, I work with crap every day, hot and fresh off the sphincter. You quit your job. I enjoy being a male nurse. One of the problems with being a male nurse is that I work with mostly women. And the old rule of thumb, what is it? You don't play where you eat or something. You're not supposed to date your coworkers. That's the rule. And I try to float around and work at a lot of different places, but it catches up to me. And I'm keenly aware that I shouldn't be flirting with the nurses, but it's I mean, come on, guys. Am I right? It's a thing to do. But it gets bad. It gets bad. I work with a lot of attractive women, and it's hard. In fact, the other day, I had to go to my boss and file a sexual harassment request. So that was hard. You have to think about that one, okay, guys? It's like I used to tell my ex, it's intellectual humor, honey. I don't expect you to laugh. So. No, but picking up chicks at work. I was at an office party the other day, and there was a girl I'd been kind of noticing, and she was at the food table, so she was alone. I kind of got up next to her, and she reached her hand into a bowl of tortillas, so I reached around and put my hand on the same tortilla, and I whispered in her ear, I put my hand up on your chip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. So, we got any R&B fans in the house tonight? R&B fans? Yeah? All right. It's a white guy that loves R&B. It's a very, very rough life. I hate to pull the race card on you, but it's tough out there being an R&B fan. Love the hip hop. And the problem with it is that I don't really know what I'm singing along to sometimes. Like Nelly started this whole thing with just kind of making up new words or whatever. It's getting hot in her. And I thought, is he saying something? Like what in her is getting hot? I don't even understand. Or is he come to find out he's just mispronouncing here to make it rhyme or something? I don't know. T-Pain did that with his song "Wanna Buy You a Drink." Even the title of the song spells it "drink." I didn't know what he was saying. I thought the whole time T-Pain was singing, "I want to buy you a train." Like, that's what they do in their community, That's how they show affection. They buy their women trains. Like, how about a locomotive? Because I love you. Nothing. Yeah, I don't know. He's got money in the bank. That's how I figured he made it work. So then, now you never know what T-Pain's up to. The kind of women that he's courting, because I'd heard he was in love with a stripper, and then now I guess he's with the bartender. So, but then Flo Rida, a few years back, comes out with this song, "Come and Blow My Whistle, Baby." I got all the words right on that. Still didn't know what the song was about. I thought he also had bought his girlfriend a train. So, but hip-hop does get me in trouble quite a bit. I was blaring the hip-hop the other day with my windows rolled down, driving down the street, and I got pulled over by a cop. Cop comes up to the window, like they do. He says, "Son, do you know why I pulled you over?" I looked at him and said, "'Cause you thought I was black?" No, it's okay. It's all right. I can't use the race card on that, but I feel terrible about what's going on in our country right now. We've got the cops, and there's bad cops out there. We got people rioting and people getting killed, and it's terrible. But I think now more than ever we need to stand up for our cops. Am I right? We need to get by their side. We need to stand behind the men and women in uniform. And please, whatever you do, just don't stand in front of them. Okay? Just stand with them, but get it right. It is good to be here. I'm just about running out of time. You guys have been a great crowd tonight. I've enjoyed, a lot of times comedy clubs, people tell you don't quit your day job. I have no intention of quitting my day job, so you don't have to worry. But I do. I love being a nurse. I get a lot of weird questions as a nurse. My favorite one is, why not be a doctor? What other line of profession gets that kind of harassment? Am I right? And the women don't get it either, you know, because if a woman's a doctor, people are baffled. Oh, don't you mean a woman doctor? Male nurses, we always get that. Well, why aren't you a doctor? And now I have to explain, you know, well, I'm smart enough, you know, I just too lazy for med school. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, what other line of work gets this kind of harassment, you know? Oh, you're a taxi driver? Well, why not be an airline pilot? Who gets that? Oh, you're a mall cop? Why not work for the FBI? Or my favorite is, oh, you're just a petty thief? Why not run for president? Hey, thanks a lot. You guys have been great. I'm Steve Jerk. Have a good night.
Keep it going for Mr. Steve Jerk. Okay, once again, we're going to keep things rolling right along, and we're going to welcome our next comedian to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Jeffrey Lewis.
Thank you. It really is terrific to be here tonight because I'm a single dad with 2 teenage daughters. They're at home right now, tied up. You know, I'll tell you what, it's hard having teenage daughters, particularly learning the shop. I mean, I made a lot of mistakes, but I learned from them. Like, you can't use a black Sharpie marker for eyeliner. For poor dears, for 2 weeks, had to walk around looking like Elvira, Mistress of the Night. And never, ever, ever buy generic tampons. Oh, I thought I was being the savvy shopping dad coming out of Costco carrying the giant plastic bag of 5,000 generic tampons. You know, thinking, this will last them till they get married. Not all's lost, though. I used them to insulate the attic. I sprayed water on them. They're popping up everywhere. Yeah, I cut my heating bill in half. But it is hard with the teenage daughters. But you know what? I get some advice. I have some lady friends. They give me advice. I get invited to their home shopping parties. I'm like, why do you guys invite me to these things, you know? I mean, because, I feel obligated to go. Oh, Jeffrey, we just think of you as one of the girlfriends. Well, I want to let you know I'm the freaky girlfriend that wants to sleep with all the other girlfriends. Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, did you hear this big news about Indiana? That we are ranked in the top 5 of all states for obesity, smoking, and divorce. Did you hear this? Oh, state officials are upset. You know, and I'm thinking, don't be upset about it. You know, let's use it to our advantage. Like, maybe it could be the theme of our new license plate. Indiana, eat, smoke, and split. You know, we do have the worst license plates in the country. You know, what's that one? Where's the In God We Trust? Where's the creativity? They stole that off a nickel. You know, and it's, you know, and I think like the eat, smoke, and split license plate. I think that could be a lot of fun. You know, like for instance, you could have some fun visuals on it for like the eat license plate. You could have a picture of a giant fried tenderloin platter with onion rings and French fries, and maybe for the smoke license plate, you could have older couple on their scooters, smoking, hooked up to oxygen, at the casino. And then the ladies' favorite, the split license plate, would be the empty man's wallet. That would be good. Now we have the one that the 200-year, the bicentennial license plate. You know, ooh, whoop-de-doo, Indiana, 200 years, still nothing to do. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I'm a recovering addict. I got addicted to painkillers, and everybody's got their own little pathway as to how they might, have a problem with pills or alcohol. And for me, I had 3 surgeries in 2 years. The first one was a vasectomy. That, as the news people would say, that went terribly wrong. Yeah, I had internal bleeding. Now I know you're wondering, well, what does that look like? Well, just imagine this, right here, between your legs, the grand champion state fair eggplant. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, very painful. I go to the ER, and the doctor, he looks at it, he goes, wow. And that's never a good sign. Never a good sign. And he says, this is 1 in a million. Like, somebody's taken me to Disney World. You know, and he says, like, you know, we're kind of teaching around here. Would you mind if, you know, I brought some people in to, you know, to look at this? And I'm like, sure, fine. So I go to loudspeaker, please come to room 1. We've got a real big one here for you. Come into room 1. So in come flying all these nurses, residents, and interns, you know, and they're going, this is the nurses here. These are the residents. These are the interns. I go, okay, well, who's that guy over there with the mop? Oh, that's the janitor. He loves to see crap like this. So anyway, go home, and basically what I had to do was lay in bed for 2 weeks and eat painkillers. So I did that, and then can you imagine on Monday morning the phone call to the office, what that had to be like? Hello, yeah, this is Jeffrey. Yeah, I'm not going to be in, not feeling well. Oh, about 2 weeks. I think it was food poisoning. Maybe some bad eggplant, I think. That's what that was. And then about a half a year later, toward another year later, tumor on my testicle. Man, can you believe that? Had to go to the, get an ultrasound. Oh boy, that's a treat. You're laying on the table, nothing on below here, feet in the stirrups. But ladies, you know, I did exactly what all women do when their feet are in the stirrups for that exam. I left my socks on. It was very attractive, nice black socks. But I tell you what, that room, you know, it's real dark in there. You know, you're half naked, your feet in their stirrups. You got the blue hue of the ultrasound machine and the nurse technicians in there. My God, you could just feel the sexual tension. Oh. Yeah, and you know, she has this device in her hand that looked like an iron. Now, you don't want to joke around with somebody that has a tool like that and is going to be driving over the boys. But you know, being a little comedian type, I said, don't you think we ought to have drinks and dinners first? Oh man, she drove over me like that thing was a Tonka truck. I recovered from that, but there was more painkillers I had to take because of that. Then a year later, old back injury starts acting up. So I had to have surgery on that, eat more painkillers. So the surgery's over, still have the pain. I said, doctor, I still got the pain. What's going on? And he goes, well, what you have is degenerative discs, spinal stenosis, and peripheral neuropathy. I said, can you put that in English, please? He goes, you're basically fucked. And so, you know, back pain, nerve pain down in my leg, you know, and he goes, actually, we have a condition called for this, a medical condition. It's called failed back surgery syndrome. I'm like, well, I got a new syndrome for you, and it's called I failed to pay you syndrome. And that's when I really got addicted to Vicodin, or what I always like to refer to as America's Little Pain Helper. And my personal use of the word is I used to call Vicodin my weapons of self-destruction. But it seems like everybody's taken it. Athletes, celebrities, Carmel housewives. You know, Carmel housewives, they got a lot of drugs. They've got the best drugs, and they sell it too. The best time to buy drugs from a Carmel housewife is a week before the annual Nordstrom shoe sale. They're trying to move product, buy inventory. Oh yeah, good deals on that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of celebrities and athletes take pills, you know. And I tell you, I still can't get over Michael Jackson. You know, losing a little weird, but losing that talent. You know, but I know he did overdose though. He was taking drugs for both a black man and a white woman, so you could. It's easy to overdose there. Yeah, I never bought drugs on the street though. You know, I couldn't find anybody that would take my copay. You know, no dealer wanted to do that. And you know, you have a lot of options to help kill the pain. There's booze, alcohol, but you know, I was concerned about gaining weight. You know, as a side effect to it. You know, booze and alcohol. What do you get when you drink too much? Beer belly. There's marijuana, right? Pot for health. Yeah. Oh, that's great. But what's the side effect of that, right? You get the munchies. You know what you end up with? Pot belly. And then. That's why pills were perfect for me. You know, I've never seen a fat addict. You know, I haven't seen somebody going around, oh man, I got to go to the doctor. I got to get him to ask me, get me to prescribe me some Vicodin Light. You know, whoa, too much Vicodin. Tell you what, when you're an addict and you're in pain and everything, you will do or say or try anything to get more pills. Like one time I remember this, I went to the doctor and I said, doctor, I need a refill on this. And he said, well, you just got this refill last week. Are you following the directions? I'm like, yeah, take 4 every 2 hours as needed for pain. He's like, no, that's 2. Every 4 hours is needed for pain. I'm like, oh, the quick thinking addict. Oh yeah, did you know I was dyslexic? Yeah, I think it's in my chart. And would you supersize that for me next time? When you're having problems with alcohol and drugs, you know, you're going to hit bottom sometime in your life. At least you hope to, because maybe you're going to get some help. And we always remember that. And I'll tell you about the time I hit bottom and said, I gotta get some help. One night, I was performing oral sex on an empty prescription bottle, just so I could get the pill dust. You look yourself in the mirror, you know, you go, God, I gotta get help. I gotta get help. Went to rehab. I was really worried about the rehab, you know, doing the 12 steps, because I heard it was really hard, you know, difficult. Until I got to that first step where, you know, it says, admit you're powerless. I'm like, hell, this is easy. I admitted I was powerless on my wedding day when I said I do. I love step 2 though, because you really kind of learn, you know, like if in your group settings, you kind of learn about different people and where their head is, you know. It's, you know, step 2 is, you know, identify a higher power greater than yourself for spiritual achievement and everything like that, you know. It's amazing because people will pick all kinds of things and it's all right, you know, a flower, a doorknob, whatever. A lot of people pick, you know, God, Dalai Lama, you know, and even some people pick President Obama. But, you know, I think if you pick Obama as your higher power, you're probably going to start out with a lot of hope and end up relapsing. Now, my higher power was a little different than most. Supermodel Heidi Klum. Oh, I thought about her all the time, especially helping me get through all those hard times. Thought about her in bed at night, the shower in the morning, the bathroom at Cracker Barrel, you know, the usual places. Oh, yeah, that does it, the old drug habit. Yeah, but anyway, I've been sober now for, it's going on 11 years. So it feels really good. And, you know, I tell you what, though, yeah, thank you. You know, I got the shit together and everything, you know, and I love working out and everything. But you know what? I still have chronic pain. My back still acts up. I still get burning in my leg, you know, but I learned to meditate. Oh, that really, really helps. Anytime I start feeling the burn in my leg, I start my meditation. And I've got my own mantra. And you got to have a mantra. Now, I'll just share with you what my mantra is. I feel that burning pain. I go, thank God it doesn't burn when I pee. Thank God it doesn't burn when I pee. Yeah, takes the pain right away. Oh, going through rehab too is really hard because, particularly withdrawal, oh yeah. And the doctor prescribed me Ambien. I don't know if you know much about that Ambien. That's some crazy stuff. It can cause sleep eating, sleep driving, and sleep sex. And you wake up in the morning and you don't know that any of this has happened. It's true. Documented cases. Doctor's like, are you okay with those side effects? I said, absolutely, especially that sleep sex, since I'm not getting any when I'm awake. You know, if I take 2, does that improve the chances, you know? And, you know, I took it for a couple weeks. I didn't notice anything weird until one morning I woke up, my car was out of gas, had a $300 dinner bill, and there was a note next to my pillow. It said, "My dearest Jeffrey, last night was amazing. You were wonderful. Love, Chuck." No more Ambien, no more Ambien. Oh, no more Ambien, yeah. Oh, yeah. Feel good. You know, I been working out at a gym, joined the gym, and love the gym. Been trying to do dieting, and dieting, it's so hard. You know, you know what's wrong with dieting? Food. It's everywhere. And you love pizza. I mean, that's the hardest thing. You tell you, don't eat pizza. I cannot give that up, but I got a secret I want to share with you. What I do is I buy those mini lean cuisine pizzas because they're low in calorie, low in fat, and if you eat 4 of them, it's just like having a whole pizza. I mean, it works out fine, yeah. So I joined the gym, one of these Lifetime Fitness gyms, and they assigned me to personal trainer. Oh my God. Tall, tan, fit, blonde, a woman. And so she asked me, what are your fitness goals? I'm like, not to die? I mean, I don't know. And I'm starting to think, you know, oh, yeah. When I go over railroad tracks, I don't want my man boobs to jiggle. You know, when I'm brushing my teeth, I don't want to see him going back and forth like that, you know. And I'd like to have one waist. Those would be my fitness goals. And so they have you join this thing called the 90-Day Fitness Challenge. And it's where they give you dieting tips and health tips, and you go to the classes and you learn all the different group exercises and all that kind of, that stuff really worked, because then they try to gauge how much weight you want to lose by the end of the 90 days. It really works. The first day, I lost 3 pounds. Not from diet or exercise, I just shaved all the back hair off. I know people go, oh, that's gross. I said, oh yeah, I would have lost 5 pounds if I took all the skin tags off too. Every little bit helps, right? So I tried the Zumba class, you know. I'm like, you know, it's like all women. And, you know, I don't know why more guys don't take Zumba. I'm the only guy in there. I don't know why more guys don't do Zumba. You know, I mean, where else can you go where you're going to see hot, sweaty, great-looking, fit women? There's no cover charge. There's no cover charge, and you're not coming home smelling like cheap perfume. Yeah, that's the only thing. I'll tell you what, though. I decided if I'm going to do the Zumba, I'm going to I better go in the back row, because all that moving around, you know, I didn't want my boys to get loose. And then I realized the place has got mirrors everywhere, you know, so I'm in the back, you know, making sure that doesn't happen. But then this music starts and this driving beat, and all I can think of is, look at all the butts. There must be 51 cheeks in this room here. You know, they, being the only guy in there, you know, they're real nice. You know, like the instructor's like, oh, you got to come back. And the ladies are like, you're doing so good. You need to come back, you know. I think they're just being nice, because I think I look like somebody who just walked through a spider web. Yeah. Kettlebell. Last night I tried kettlebell. Do you know what kettlebell is? Kettlebell is like somebody went out and found a bunch of old Civil War cannonballs and welded handles onto them. Figured out people pay money to swing these things around. You know. Yeah, I tried it last night. I got a tip for you. When you swing up, hold on tight. Lady behind me should be out of the hospital in 6 to 8 weeks, I think. And then when you swing down low, you need to make sure the kettlebell clears the kettlebells. Very important. Then I took the yoga class. I mean, I can't do yoga. I can't do it. I mean, I can do all the moves. I just can't suppress a fart for an hour. It's completely impossible. I just can't do it. Just can't do it. Well, let's see, November, we're almost into November coming up here, and it's called Movember, which is Health Awareness Month, you know, for men, particularly with the prostate thing, you know, and every year, you know, I don't have to remind myself to get the exam. Because every year, the end of October, boom, there's the letter in the mail, there's the card from my doctor. Hi, Jeffrey, it's Movember, time to bend over. You know, so you get the appointment, go in there, you know. Yeah, the old prostate exam, what I like to refer to as prison rape. I mean, it's like that. You're in this small room with a guy, door shut, your pants and your ankles are down around your ankles there. That's so you can't run away. You know, it is very embarrassing, though, doing that. But my doctor's pretty good about it, has a good sense of humor. He puts on a blonde Marilyn Monroe wig, so that always helps out a bit. But I think, you know what, I think what the most embarrassing part of it is actually not the actual exam, it's walking out through the waiting room after, you know, because you've been rearranged, you know, you walk like that. Then once you get out where nobody is, you get out in the car, you start river dancing. Oh, God. Oh. Then you go home, and your spouse or your girlfriend, oh, hi, honey, how was your day? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. It is important to get that exam, and they also do the thing called the PSA, which is some kind of blood level thing. I don't know, because a couple of years ago I had a scare with that. It was kind of higher than normal, and the doctor said, "Oh, I think I can just put you on some antibiotics, and you know that'll take care of it, and we'll come back and check." So he goes, "But by the way, you know, one thing that helps men over 50." Is to exercise the prostate, which that means sex. I'm like, doctor, you know, I'm just recently divorced and I have no prospects out there. So you know what he says to me? Well, you're gonna have to take matters into your own hand. Yeah, try to redeem that on health insurance, yeah. The form goes in, we got the whacker calling again, he wants to get his form done, you know. Yeah. You know, I'm like, what am I supposed to do? You know, because, you know, take matters into your own hands. I'm just not good at it. I mean, you know, I try everything. I run the little fantasy video in my mind, you know. I'm in there with Megyn Kelly and Laura Ingraham and Monica Crawley. I like Fox News. And then I'm just about there, and every time in pops Judge Judy. Ruins the whole thing for me. Ruins the whole thing for me. And then he said, you know, it is really important, and the American Medical Society did this study. They studied like 30,000 men. And they found out that of those men, 30% of those men had 23 or more orgasms a month, were like 50% less likely to get prostate cancer. Who in the hell is having 23 orgasms a month? Prison inmates, zoo monkeys? Last time I had 23 orgasms a month, there was a Farrah Fawcett poster on the ceiling and a stack of Victoria's Secret capsules by my bed. Oh, God. You know, I think all the breast cancer slogans and awareness that they do for that, you know what? Have something for prostate cancer. You know, I think we need like a theme or some theme line, you know, and I've got the perfect one. Ladies, help stop prostate cancer, lend a guy a hand. Does that sound like that? That'd be a great theme we could all get behind. Well, I'm starting to date, and I know what you're thinking. He's working out at the gym, he's got great hair. Bet he's out there dating the young chickies. No, not at all. I prefer dating women my own age. They're used to men. No, I tried dating a younger woman. This is what it was like. This is finished love making at 10 o'clock at night. She leaps out, taps me on my ass and says, "Let's go dancing, baby." And I'm thinking more like a cup of warm milk, some toaster pizzas, and watching the History Channel. Oh, I tried everything. I was drinking Red Bull, Monster, Rockstar mixed together, chugging 5-hour energy drink every 3 hours, covering myself with test patches and creams. Hell, I even tried Viagra. What a huge disappointment that was. Not once did I get that 4-hour erection. Maybe it's because I bought it online. Because it kind of creeped me out when I was reading about it. It says, only your doctor can determine whether Viagra is right for you. You know, I like my doctor, and I've known him for a long time, but I'm just not ready to move the relationship to the next level. Oh, but I tell you what, you know, I'm losing my hearing. I need to get hearing aids, and it makes me have a beef about Viagra because health insurance will pay for Viagra, but they won't pay for hearing aids. I mean, that doesn't seem fair, does it? Like they'll pay for me to get a better boner, but not be able to hear her yell, "Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God." For the longest time, I thought, who's Todd? This Todd guy's got it going on. I got to meet Todd, you know. It is hard to meet women out there. My buddies are like, why don't you get a friend with benefits? I'm like, friend with benefits? I can't seem to get excited about a woman because she has health insurance. And I'm not that turned on by dental and vision. And, you know, accidental death, you know, maybe you got something there, you know. Then one of my buddies is like, hey, why don't you get one of those cougars? Like, you asshole, she'd have to be 93 years old. Screw that. I'd be an old cougar, wouldn't it? I'd be a wrinkly cougar. So I moved into the world of online dating, and what a treat that is. I tried this one called Our Time for people 50 years and older. I met some great ladies, great aunts, great grandmas. Oh my God, I'm dating Ninas, Nanas, and Meemaws. Oh man, I'm so afraid in bed she's gonna go, who's your grandma? Who's your grandma? Who's your grandma? There is one benefit, though, to dating a grandma. Every year on my birthday, I get a card with $2. What they're going for me. And then I tried the one, eHarmony, you know, where they go in the whole 29 dimensions of compatibility, this big analysis, you know, and I got rejected. They said I was one-dimensional. I mean, help me out here. I got some of the questions, the answers, like one of the questions was, describe your perfect date. Woman with big boobs. If your friends could say one thing about you, what would they say? He goes, he loves women with big boobs. And then another question, if you were stranded on an island by yourself and you had one wish, what would you wish for? Two women with big boobs. One-dimensional, I don't get it. That's when I moved over to Match.com. Love Match.com. I love reading the profiles. I always try to get a date with this woman. I'm just like the girl next door. Because when I was growing up, the girl next door was the neighborhood slut. And I'm thinking that probably carries on through the years. And then there's always this one on there. I can't believe I'm on Match.com. My kids made me sign up. Would you like to hear that conversation? Mom, it's time. You are so grouchy and irritable. You have got to get laid. And what the hell was going on last night? Woke me up in the middle of the night. Cabinet door slamming, opening drawer slamming, trying to find fresh batteries. It's time. Yeah, there's some fun stories out there. There's this one lady, she's a widow, and I really didn't want to go out with her because I always thought that, she's going to be comparing you to her deceased husband. But she was so beautiful. I broke down, I went out with her, and we became intimate, and sure enough, it started. Oh, Jeffrey, hold me tight like Michael used to do. Oh, Jeffrey. Oh, Jeffrey, touch me here like Michael used to do. Oh, kiss me long like Michael used to do. Finally, I got fed up. I said, here, kiss this. His name's Michael. Tell you what, though, in our 50s, you know, our bodies have changed, and it's a little nerve-wracking out there getting naked, you know. Like this one lady, she said to me, oh, Jeffrey, I wish you knew me when I was in my 30s and my breasts were firm and perky. I'm like, yeah, me too. And I didn't say that. No. I'm thinking also, oh my God, if Hooters had an older club called Saggers, she could get a job. I did not say that. No, I did not say that. I really did not say that. I didn't say it to her. What I did say, I said, don't you worry, we are so compatible because my nutsack hangs to my knees. You got to be careful out there with the iPhones and tablets and all that stuff, you know, because you can get in trouble. This lady, she sent me some, let's just say, rather nice photos. And she said, Jeffrey, send me a photo. So I did, and I attached a little note to it. I said, don't you just love my cute butt? Oh, I got an immediate reply. She said, I always thought your butt was cute. Love, Mom. Oh. Of course, I got high-tech parents. She has to forward it to my dad sitting in the Barca Lounger, and he replies, looks like a dumbass. Thanks, Dad. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Tell you what, though, you know, actually, sex in your 50s is fantastic. Fantastic. You know what I think it is? I think it's age plus experience equals uninhibited sex. Oh my God, the sounds and the loud noises. Necks snapping, backs cracking, knees popping. Thank you very much. I'm Jeffrey Lewis. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Oh yeah, keep it going for Jeffrey Lewis. And once again, yes, we sound like a broken record, but we're going to keep things rolling right along and bring our next comedian to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Troy Davis.
Hey, remember when you was a kid and your mom said, don't put money in your mouth because you don't know where it's been? Remember the first time you went to a strip club and saw where the money's been? Yeah, my mom, I almost got a ticket the other day for parking in an expecting mother spot. It's the last time I meet my mom at Marsh. Told the officer I was expecting her any minute. She's 90 now, actually, she's 90, and God bless her. She talks to herself, and it was scaring the grandkids, so we got her Bluetooth. Now she looks like everybody else. God love her. I got some crazy neighbors. They fight. They drink too much beer. They kind of beat each other up, and they're always fine like the next day, you know. But the other night it got out of hand, and the cops came, and they arrested my neighbor Tom for battery. Yeah. Anybody know why they call it battery? I think I figured this out. They charged him for it, put him in a cell. Let's see what else is going on, man. I went to a wedding recently. My niece got married. Yeah, married a guy named Chance. And the funny part about that is I've been divorced 3 times myself. And, you know, people are like, 3 times? I thought 3rd time was a charm. Mythbuster. So I'm in the back of the chapel with my cousin Becky, who's been divorced 4 times, 7 between us. And when it came to the part of the ceremony where she looked at him and said, I take this chance. Yeah, you bet your ass, man. I had a heart attack. Feel pretty good now. It was actually a few years ago. Actually, it was the same day Michael Jackson had a heart attack. So I was completely overshadowed. Yeah, and Farrah Fawcett died too, so I didn't have a chance. But I've been exercising and eating healthier. I think really the key is to eat, you know, a lot of organics, and because the exercising, I don't know, I'm not sold on the exercising, because they always say, you know, if you exercise, you'll live longer. But what they don't tell you is the time that's added on to your life is the exact amount of time that you spent exercising. So, I don't really see the benefits of that. Let's see. I travel a little bit, and I see things, and it don't take much to make me laugh. I saw this the other day. It was a daycare center. They had a big sign out in front that said, now accepting new infants. Like, is there old ones? I don't know if they were expecting Benjamin Button to show up or what. But I saw this the other day. It was a Holiday Inn Express. Had a big sign, free breakfast. I stopped. And the manager was like, no. You got to stay here. How long? Because I'm hungry. I take things literally, though, man. I do. I take things literally. I was at the mall buying a shirt. She's like, "How will you be paying for this?" It's like, "I have a job." Went to the drive-up window, ordered a sandwich. That'll be $3.19. Please drive around. Why is it going to be a while? Come back later, I guess. Had an appointment to have a psychic reading, and I was running late. And I thought, do I need to call her? If she's any good, she should know. She should already know. What else, man? I saw this. It was an automotive repair place. They had a big sign out in front that said, "Free strut inspection." So I stopped. I'm like, "What do you think, huh?" It's like, "Get out of here, man." It's like, I had to see if it was funny. You know, before you try it on a real crowd. I don't know, man. Just goofy stuff, man. Don't throw litter. You ever seen this? Don't throw litter. I guess it's okay to stop and lay it down gently. Just the way I look at stuff. I saw this. It was a museum dedicated to divorced fathers. Yeah, Divorced Fathers Museum. I couldn't get in though because it was only open every other weekend and alternating holidays. Wednesdays from like 3:30 to 8. And 2 weeks in the summer. I'll keep going with that joke. I don't care. This is probably the weirdest thing I ever saw. I saw a church that was so big it had its own McDonald's. It's like, what? They're just merging too much stuff, man. Had a whole theme, you know, whole religious theme. You go in there and say, "Give me the 10 condiments." Take a McEve sandwich made from the McRib. They changed the name of the dipping sauces. They had like meek, mild, Gentile, burning bush, hellfire damnation. That was a really hot one. They featured a new pizza pocket too called Cheese's Crust. It's not right. Go to the drive-up window. Yes, give me a Last Supper value meal supreme. 3 miracle meals. 2 holy burgers. Some crucifries. Give me a Hebrew for my Jewish friend. And for the toy, could we get a McMoses? We've already got 3 McNoahs. Scratch that. Give me a fish sandwich. I think we can feed the whole bunch. That's right, collect all 12 Action Apostle figures. Well, 11. You know, Judas could be found at Burger King. He was a traitor. Guess it's okay to do religious material in a church. See, anybody ever bounce a check in church? That's about the worst thing you can do. I had good intentions, man. I was just broke. Here comes the offering plate. I post-date a check. You know. I had faith that the money would be there. But it wasn't. So now I got to call the pastor, right? And he's a young, hip pastor. That's why I like going. He's hilarious. But he knows I'm a comic, so he's messing with me right off the bat. You know, I called him up. I told him what happened. Hey, I post-dated a check. You know, put it in the collection. You guys cashed it. Here's what he said. He goes, "Well, we don't want to take any chances. We never know when our Lord's returning." So I'm the comic, right? I got to come back with something, you know. So I go, "Well, my check returned." And then I took it way too far. I go, 3 days later. I know, man. It was silence on the other end of the phone. He's good, though, and he comes right back. He goes, well, I guess now your whole account needs resurrection. I like this guy, man. Funny. I don't know. Saw this, man. I went to Cracker Barrel and ordered catfish. Like, this catfish is farm raised. Like, really? Farm raised? Because I don't remember the catfish in the E-I-E-I-O song. Probably couldn't make the audition. Right? Can you picture that? And the catfish went. Get him out of here. Go sit with the turtle. Bring in the chicken. That's another one, the chicken. These chickens were raised in a stress-free environment. Well, you didn't tell them you're going to kill them? Well, they got little workout spas they can go to relax. They give them a massage, rub them down with Crisco. It's okay. It's okay. We're all going to die. Well, they got to be stressed about, you know. Colonel said we'd be famous. I just don't get it, man. I guess I don't have to. You ever seen this one? Kittens, free to a good home. I stopped. I walked up to the door. Yeah, I come from a really bad home. How much for the fucking cats? If you're going to screen your customers. That's all I'm saying. So, tattoos. I know a lot of people have tattoos, man. You got to be careful with tattoos. I just had one removed. You know, because you pick a tattoo, you don't want it to lose its popularity. You know, you want it to stay cool. Back in the 80s, I was a big Donkey Kong champion. Yeah. Felt good to get that monkey off my back. That was a long way to go for a punchline, wasn't it? Now, if I could just get my ex-wife off my ass. I know what you're thinking. Which one? All of them. Oh. Let's see, man. Going to a funeral, you guys. Yeah, I'm going to a funeral in February. Yeah, it's almost Halloween now, which is why that probably sounds unusual, but it's my uncle, and he's on life supports, and the family took a vote. You know, we're going to pull the plug, and he lives in South Florida, so we figured that'd be a good time of year to go down there. Little spring break. Thanks for not booing me on that joke. There's so much I want to talk about. I have a beautiful daughter, and she was a kind of an awkward teenager. I didn't let her drive, you know, until she was like 18, and she was pissed. But she comes up to me one day, she goes, well, Dad, just get me a practice car. Yeah, I'm sure that'd be all right with everybody. Just turn my daughter loose in a practice car. But we were discussing a whole car issue. We decided she should get a job. You know, well, I decided. So she went down to the local pizza place to apply for a job. I told her, get there at 10 o'clock when they open. You know, that'll make a good impression. Get there bright and early, let them know you're serious. So she went down there, had a couple friends take her, and she sat in the parking lot for like 5 or 10 minutes, and she didn't come. She never actually went in. And she came back home. And I said, did you get the job? And she said, no, Dad, I'm going to go back after 12 o'clock. I thought, well, why? She said there was a sign in the window that said, now hiring afternoons and evenings. Now you know why I didn't want her to drive it, right? But She was very honest, but she didn't always tell me everything. I had a half a gallon of vodka in the garage in the freezer, and it was suddenly frozen. So I call this to her attention. We got frozen vodka here. She goes, how'd that happen? So, well, we take vodka and let it out of the freezer and put water in this place, put it back in, it's going to freeze. She said, I didn't know that. I said, I can see that. Her best friend at the time, Audrey, biggest drinker I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen anybody consume this much alcohol, ever. She's only 18. Came home a couple days early by surprise. I find Audrey passed out on my couch. Okay, what's going on here? Because we talked about this before I left. No parties, wasn't supposed to have anybody over. So when she got in a little scuffle with her parents, she needed a place to stay for a couple days, but she was the only one here and I didn't have any parties. There was an empty keg in the backyard. Fucking Audrey can drink. Apparently she's a chain smoker too. Because there's like 500 cigarette butts in the backyard. All different brands. I thought that was kind of odd. No brand loyalty. 12 rolls of toilet paper missing too. She's a pooper. They think we're so stupid. I have a son, and he is about 35, man. That makes me feel so old. And I get to work with him, and it's a lot of fun. He's very paranoid though, man. He was always that way. You know, even as a kid, I remember he was 1 year old. He thought we were trying to poison him. Because we would always pretend to eat the baby food. And then try to get him to eat it. You could see it on his face. 1 year old, he's like, what's he thinking? You know, how come I'm the only one on formula? Oh no. Silly. Well, I did have 3 divorces, and you can't really be a stand-up comic and have 3 divorces and not touch on it, right? So here we go. I actually started doing stand-up in divorce court. Like, well, Your Honor, she took everything but the blame. Yeah, I learned some stuff in divorce court. Found out I wasn't quite the co-owner I thought I was. I had to borrow money to get divorced. Yep, called it a home improvement loan. She wrote a book, too, how to screw a guy out of everything he owns. But she sugar-coated the title and called it How to Get the Most Out of Relationship. Not really a book, it's more of a user guide. I tell you what, man, the whole thing to me, the divorce court, man, it's a racket. It's like a title weight fight, you know? It's like a title weight fight because you're going for the title of the car usually in the house. Kind of way I got it pictured. Let's get ready to rumble! In this corner, she's undefeated in all property settlements. The undisputed best dresser in the courtroom, the screed of greed, Tess of stress, record holder in restraining orders, Lion Linda. In this corner, the challenger and a $10,000 underdog, the pony of alimony, the worrywart of child support, the incoherent weekend parent, Mr. No Protection Against Garnished Wage Collection, the booed and the screwed, Troy Davis. Ding, she opens up with child support. He fakes with false financial statements. She counters with copies of 1099s for the last 3 years. He's going to have to fall back on that second job early if he's got any chance in the later rounds. The champion's looking good as she continues those short jabs to the rear. He's not going to be able to stand those wallet shots much longer. He's got 1 bass boat left and she's going for it. Felt like Apollo Creed and Rocky, you know, ain't going to be no rematch. Love the divorce jokes. But I'm married now. I don't know how that happened, but it did. And I'm not going to talk about it. But probably best. So, did have a lot of girlfriends though, you know. I had a girlfriend, we were living together, and it was last October actually. We had a Halloween party. She sent me out to get the scariest music I could find. I returned with a copy of the Wedding March. That is the scariest shit I've ever heard. Funny. She was a massage therapist, actually. And, you know, everybody's like, woo, good for you, right? No. That's what she does all day. It's the very last thing she wants to do when she comes home at night. I'm glad she's not a hooker. That would be doubly bad. But I had another girlfriend. I found out she was cheating on me a day before we went to Disney World. Yeah, her parents were paying for the whole trip. So I thought, what the hell? I can hang on for a couple days, man. It's always been a childhood dream. Never been to Disney World. So I went, man. I went, and I'm having a good time. She knew something was up, you know. She's trying to pick toppings for the pizza. But Troy, you love pepperonis. I'm like, not today. Like, hey, let's get our picture taken. That won't be necessary. Then I get the ultimate setup, man. She don't even get it. We're sitting there side by side on a roller coaster. Guy comes over, loudspeaker. Please secure your loose belongings. I think you're going to need a seatbelt. Yeah. Thanks for laughing at that. I had a girl break up with me because I have a foot fetish. Yeah, she thought I should have higher goals. A lot of girls get freaked out too with a guy that has a foot fetish. Every time I go to suck on a girl's toe, she's like, freak. I should probably try talking to him first. Yeah, that goes. Let's see what else. Oh, I buckle under pressure, man. Does anybody buckle under pressure? You guys? I do. Man, I got pulled over by the cops last week, and I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for him to walk up and do whatever he's going to do, you know, write me a ticket or whatever. And I was sitting there and I was like, I buckled, man. I couldn't take the pressure. Thanks. It's a stupid joke, but I love it. It's a good one. Okay. Let me see. We are editing, right? Well, that's good. We are now. Oh man. I guess I could tell you a little bit more about my son. Actually, I lived with a gay man, like I always say. I lived with a gay man for 9 years. And, I love him very much. It's my son. Because a lot of parents, you know, have a problem with that, you know, and I really don't. I never did. If anything, I felt like I supported him accidentally. Because his whole life always said stuff like, hey, you know, you don't like something unless you try it. And I was thinking like broccoli. A lot of parents are like, get out of the house. Shit. And he cleans the house. Decorates too. That's important, you know. Like I said, he came out about 9 years ago. Well, actually, he didn't come out. I went in after him. I have no idea what that means. It's just kind of fun to say. we had always had a good relationship, but anytime I give him advice or I say something supportive, you know, I couldn't help but think like there was a gay meaning behind it, you know. Like one day I'm like, I'm behind you 100%. Like, well, maybe not 100%. No pain, no gain. Don't bite off more you can chew. I know, I'm not even trying to be dirty, man. I'm not. I can't say anything, you know. Don't half-ass it. Turn the other cheek. Suck it up, take it like a man. No, I can't say that. I have never said that. I can't say that. It's funny. He tells me about gay guys that place personal ads to pick up other gay guys, but they don't want to sound like they're gay, so they say stuff like they're bi-curious. Bi-curious, really, in a personal ad? Bi-curious is too gay, what full-figured is too fat. You know, it's just not telling the truth. All right. Man, I just had one too. I guess we're at it again. Well, I did buy a lottery ticket recently, not for the reason that you think. There was a cop behind me in line. Originally got in line to buy rolling papers. Shit. Give me a scratch off. Hard to roll a joint with a lottery ticket too. You don't win that way either. Yeah, I smoked pot for a lot of years, and I'm gonna give you guys a drug test if I can remember it, on how you know you're smoking too much weed. Have you ever ate a joint because the car behind you had a luggage rack? Have you ever had cotton mouth so bad water wasn't wet enough? You ever tried to do the top 10 pot list and forget what the hell you're talking about? That's on there. Have you ever been at home and actually wondered how close does a fly get to the ceiling before it turns over to land? I had a guy come up to me after the show one time and he goes, I think they go like this. So, I don't know, man. I remember the first time I ever smoked weed. I was 13 years old, and my brother's friends were home from Vietnam. Actually, it was the Vietnam War. It was still going on. I think it ended in '75. And but I was 13, and they were trying to get me to smoke weed, man. I'm like, no, man, I'm good. I got my warm beer, because at 13, you know, you had a little control over the temperature of your beer. Mom was watching the fridge. Unless it was winter, you know. But this is a summer joke. So I'm like, no, man. He's like, no, man, you don't understand, you know. God made pot, man made alcohol. Who do you trust? I guess I trust God. Been doing it ever since. I quit, though, several times. Yeah, I was on the patch for a while. They don't have a patch. I just duct tape a pot leaf to my arm. it would dry up and fall off, I knew it was ready. Thanks a lot, guys. Troy.
Keep it going for Troy Davis. And now we've reached that abysmal part of the evening where we pull one more rabbit out of the hat. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Archangel, which is it?
Archangel.
No, dude, that's Earth Angel.
Is
Ladies
it-
and
oh,
gentlemen, Jerry Goebel.
Hello. Pleasure to be here. Thank you guys for coming out and supporting live comedy. Internet people, I know you're there. I know you're watching me. Most of your internet's down probably because of the great cyber war that we had today. Internet went down. Whew. Scary as shit, right? You know, because I couldn't get porn. I was like, X-Hamster went straight down. I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I can't get to my clown porn. What am I going to do, Internet? Reddit, tell me what to do. Reddit, save me. So Russia and China and the Philippines just told us to fuck off, which is pretty interesting. Because that guy's like, I don't know if you've read about the Philippines. They're like murdering drug abusers and drug users and drug sellers in the street. They're like open season, like duck season, wabbit season kind of thing. Yeah, and the prisons were flooded with people that didn't want to get killed, which is a logical thing to do. I don't think they were planning on that. But they killed like 3,000, 4,000 people now. And that guy just told us to get fucked. He's like, see ya. Talking shit on the way out the door. I'm like, holy fuck, who is this little asshole? You know? And then they team up with China and Russia. And that's the big to-do. But, and again, possibility of World War III, but I still can't get my porn. What am I gonna do? In the Holocaust, that's to come. Because when Hillary wins it, I know one thing gives me comfort, is that I know in the first strike, all of her followers will die. Because they're all metropolitan and they're all high-risk zones. So the Fallout episode Hillary will start, and those people will have to wander the wastelands of the nuclear East Coast searching for pumpkin latte. Realizing they never had to do anything for themselves, and they're easily led. And meanwhile, in the Midwest, the Donald Trump supporters already have all the guns. The militia force, Texas, will secede. They will leave. They will become Fortress Texas, and it'll be, I don't know, kind of like Dallas in the 80s, big hats. That's going to happen. They're going to overcompensate, you know, because I mean, really, we're going big now. We're our own nation, Texas, the nation of Texas. Think about that. Constitutionally, they're the only one that can split. That's kind of interesting. Still wouldn't want to live there, you know. Jesus Christ. There's more poisonous shit on the ground. So that's pretty much my dynamic for where I got to live. Is the environment can't kill me. I'm not going to go. I'm not playing Oregon Trail. I'm not going through wild wilderness with snakes and venomous shit. Fuck it, dude. I was in North Dakota. I was fine. Garter snakes, gophers, no problem. A lot of oil companies and attack dogs, sure. But we're not supposed to talk about that. Standing Rock. Hey Obama, free my Peltier. That was our title tonight. That was interesting. He's pardoning everybody. Isn't that crazy? Coke dealers, primarily. What's up with that? Barry! Come on, buddy! Are you Trump's snark connection? Are you the man? Are you the man? Giving him the candy for the debates? Barry, do you know the man? Crazy. Why would it be just Coke dealers? Why would you be, you know, thousands of pot people, really trumped up charges in prison, laboring for this state under for-profit prisons, but somehow these Coke guys are getting them. Pardon? I'm like, geez, Barry, can I Let's cheer you on, internet. Let's send a campaign to Barry. Listen, we know it's all fixed. We know the one world government's happening. Come on. You can't have a world without borders and not have a one world government. It was going to happen. Think about it. We've been getting conditioned for it all this time. From, say, Star Trek, the Federation, it's a one world government for the most part. You got people from places, but one world government. Pokemon, you were conditioned through Pokemon. In the world of Pokemon, what do you got? There's really no borders. There's like one police person that looks exactly the same, which represents the state, right? And the Pokemon with the wild creatures is just sort of like, I don't know, something to keep you busy while they steal all your money. Anyway, not funny, but, you know, whatever, man. Whatever, man. Sometimes you just make a good statement. It's just like, wow, that should be funny enough to carry me through time. But it's like, nah, that's just Nostradamus prophecy shit. You'll just see. This is just me putting it on paper that I'm right. That's all I'm doing. I tell you, Soros, I see through your shit. Gee, Jerry, why aren't you breaking into the mainstream? I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it's because I can read WikiLeaks. Maybe that's my problem. If I was more like Al Franken or Sarah Silverman. Yes, shills for the empire. Dun, dun, dun. We've got the comedian section. That's what we need now. That's what we need in the new one world order. Because it's going to be interesting. But the nuclear war part, oh boy, you can't. The fault line goes, we lose California. Really, is that a bad thing? Not necessarily. I mean, because there's acting jobs that could be had in the Midwest. At, say, a church that has a studio built right into it. Why? Nuclear war might actually work out for me. Maybe this is the big break I've been waiting for. I can be a Fallout villain. I'll be like Lord Humongous. That's what I'll be. I'll be the Jerry of the Mid-Wasteland.
Jerry says, please come to the Comedy Grinder. The Rockarola of comedy says, get your ass in here or you'll die.
Dun, dun, dun. We are the crossroads of America. You have to come our path. You will bring us weed to the church. And we will film, yes, this is what we'll do. Now we get all creepy cult-like. This is how the horror movie endings. We're taping everything all the time. It's right before my brutal murder here in about 30 minutes. Because I read WikiLeaks. Don't read the WikiLeaks. Mango Tango override. Mango Tango override. Follow through on your missions and you will be greatly rewarded. So clown porn is really kind of interesting because it's like, it's funny, like it can make you laugh, but it's really like a, scary clown kind of thing. It's like a bad boy thing. It's the ultimate man is a clown, really. Sense of humor, dangerous. Okay, likes, probably more makeup than most people. That's cool. That's fine. I mean, but still, it's ambitious to be a clown. Can you imagine a clown gangbang in a car, in a tiny car? Can you imagine trying to find a tiny little GoPro to fit inside that window to go along the gangbang clown daisy train? Can you follow it? Can you follow it? It's just going around. It's amazing. Little tiny dicks all over the place. Going, oh, what is this? It's the land of Narnia. It'll be a virtual reality app. That's what it'll be in those phones that put on their faces, and it'll be just you tunneling through like endless burrows of clown dick. And it's clown dick because most of them are like, they're going to be like lipstick smears all over them. It's going to be, it'll be like, well, come on, you've seen it. Internet, come on. Right? This says a lot about a nation and its porn choices. I don't know. I think it's funny because I don't think I ever got laid enough in my life that I could ever take it for granted. That's why I don't know if the whole bondage sites. I can understand the bondage site in such of like tying them down so they can't get away. You're like, I love you. Don't leave. Don't leave me. I could get that a little bit, I guess, but being mean, I don't know. Spanking the ass, I don't know, man. It makes me nervous. Makes me nervous because if she cooks something for you, she could poison you. I'm just saying. She might say she's okay with it, but that might just be to seal the deal, and you get carried away, and boom, next thing you know. Just saying. So, ex-hamster's still down. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Fucking Russians, you know. Make a friend with a hacker. That's what you need to do. In the post-apocalyptic world, we will have to find hackers because pretty much all of our porn now is a digital medium. So it'd be like solar flares hitting the planet, right? Can you imagine the catastrophic worldwide problem when solar flare hits the ozone and fries out all digital? And where is your porn now, Earth? Where is your porn? You think you're gonna get porn? You got none. You got none unless you save the magazines. But who would do that? In the center of the Circle City of Indianapolis, Lord Jerry has a collection of porn like no one has ever seen before. And saving it since his childhood. Stealing it from his mother and dad's supplies. Getting it from friends. Scavenging it from trash cans. The black market underworld overlord of porn. And he colors on all the faces really weird kink. But we still buy it anyway because it's the only porn we can have. Clown porn. We're big fans of the Joker. All right, that's really bottom line, base, you know, whatever. We got balloon animals over here. We had a clown sighting. So Sam Wright came in. We had him in. It's funny. We keep having people come into the show that are like doing, like we had to, okay, like next week our DEA agent's back. So Laura Luptak. Yeah, so internet, come on, watch them frisk me. Come on. So she's back, and it's like, and Sam, he's like our guest speaker for nonviolence towards clowns, which that's kind of fucked up. That now it's like we got to start having interventions for clown violence because we're so attracted to them, and yeah, you know, they're scary, and you want to defend yourself, and now people are beating the fuck out of clowns, and now they're the ones that need to be protected. Isn't that crazy? And so we had Sam Wright come in here and show self-defense methods for using. Basically, you just make a balloon animal in the shape of a dick and pretend like you're crazy, and they won't. Nobody will mess with you. Hasn't happened yet. Anyway, I seem to get away with it. Anyway, but we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning into the show. Love you. Bye-bye.